Hi, Next Exchange. Vivian here. I want to talk about how to add value to yourself. A lot of times we go around in life and, we don't get the respect that we deserve. And sometimes we just aren't getting that respect because of the lack of value that sometimes we can see in ourselves. So it's really important that when you're out in the world, whether it be in business, relationships, anything that you do, is to always remember to add value to yourself. And so I just want to talk about some of the ways you can add value to yourself so that not only do you feel better about yourself, but others can see and respect and respond to the actual value that is in you. So the first way is to love and honor yourself. And how do you do that? So you love and honor yourself by treating yourself right. So first of all, we're talking about diet, we're talking about exercise, we're talking about being solvent, again, saving money, doing things to create income for yourself. All of those ways and things are that you can do to add value, and by loving yourself and by honoring yourself. And another way is just to love yourself, and that's by celebrating yourself. A lot of times we celebrate other people, but how, in fact, do you celebrate you? A lot of times we don't celebrate ourselves in right ways. So, celebrating ourselves is really looking at us, looking at your accomplishments, looking at what you've achieved, and rehearsing your victories. And that's one way of celebrating yourself. Everybody has victories. Everybody has something that they have overcome. Everyone has had some type of success. And to rehearse those successes and to praise them to yourself, feeling good about yourself is a way to love yourself. And then, of course, another way is just sometimes to look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I love you. That takes practice, that takes time, but after a while, you'll do it and you will see that you will internalize all those behaviors and they become a part of who you are. Another way is to accept and offer your uniqueness. So there's no need to go around and be a chameleon and changing yourself, your values, your ideas, your beliefs to fit someone else to be acceptable. So that's not something that you want to do. You'll be forever on a hamster's wheel trying to be something for somebody else. But if you accept your uniqueness, because everybody is unique in a certain way, meaning that there are things that are just unique to you that might not be to the masses. We have unique things in our personalities. We have unique skills. We have unique tastes and preferences. So we need to accept what those things are and then also offer them, right? So be willing to accept your uniqueness, but also offer it to other people. So don't hide it. If you have some unique ability or gift, offer that. Offer that to people. Offer it to the world at large. And you will see that those are ways that you would add value to yourself by, again, accepting yourself and thinking and believing that what is unique about you is worth offering to others. Another way is to enforce your boundaries. A lot of times we're ran over by other people for not enforcing our boundaries. Our yes is yes and our no is no. And there are things that we only have certain people to be privy to. There are things that we believe. There are principles. We have ethical beliefs, and those things should not be overridden for other people. So that's how you add value to yourself, because people respect you. If you're not vacillating, if you're not one of those kind of people that are carried away by every wind of belief, every new thing that they hear, you're not just easily swayed. Your principles just don't break and fall. Well, you're adding value to yourself, and people will see you as valuable. Usually people who are like doormats, people who don't have boundaries, those kind of people, we don't have much respect for them. And a lot of times people won't see them as having much value. But when you stand in your beliefs, you stand in your what your principles are, you stand in what your boundaries are, um, people will respect you, and you will add value to yourself as a thinker, a person of and a person of confidence, and in your heart of hearts, being true to yourself. There, you will add that internal value. Another thing is to stop being apologetic. You know, that takes away value, that takes away respect, that takes away confidence when you have to apologize for your beliefs. You know, it's sometimes it's a habit that we practice, and it's a habit that we make ours, right? And it might be that we apologize before we say something. So, for instance, somebody feels some way, you feel another way, which is perfectly fine. It's fine that they feel that way. It's fine that you feel that way. But you end up always apologizing. Well, I'm sorry. I feel that way. I'm sorry, but this. I'm sorry, but that. So you give yourself this little caveat of please don't be mad at me before you do something that really you have your own right to do. So add value to yourself and stop apologizing. Stop apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes we can get in a habit, those kind of people, they apologize for everything. You sometimes people can get you in a habit of apologizing for everything, things that you didn't even do, just so things can go smoothly. you know and what that does is it decreases the self-respect that you have, because you know that you are betraying yourself. So stop being apologetic when it's unnecessary. Of course, if you do something, you've wronged someone, then of course you apologize and you make it right. But just to be apologetic for the sake of coming across as being kind or coming about as being nice, it does you no good, because people don't see you as kind and nice. They see you as weak. So stop being apologetic when you don't have to. Another way is to stop being afraid and, cultivate and practice courage. So a lot of times we don't get to add value, or people look at us as weak, or they look at us as fearful and timid. So that is not a valuable trait to perceive in someone, and it's also not a valuable trait to have. So we all know that courage is a noble thing, and courage adds value. So start thinking about the things that you feel like you're afraid of, and begin to cultivate and practice courage. It doesn't just come automatically. Everybody is just not just fearful people, right? Everybody gets nervous sometimes. Everybody has to practice something sometimes. So, start practicing courage when you need it, and do the things that need to be done. And don't let intimidation and fear or anything like that rule your life, right? So you want to keep adding value. Another thing is to sum up and know what you're worth. A lot of times when you talk to people, they don't really know what they're worth. I mean, it's like even some people who are selling themselves, selling their services, they might be afraid to put um, a substantial price on it, because they don't know what they are worth. They don't know how valuable they are. And a lot of times it's because of the company they keep that aren't valuing them. But you have to start looking at the value in yourself, and let that value come from within and not from without. So sum up your worth. Even if it means just writing down on a paper, these are my talents, these are my gifts, these are the things that I can do. And this is how fast I can get these things done. Or you can look at your schooling or your knowledge, and think about what it is that you know. And, you sum those up. Just even character. A lot of those things have a lot to do with your value. You know, how valuable are you to the world or to your community or to your friends or to your family? You know, sum up and know your worth and walk in that, you know. And if you sum it up and you know it, that's going to add value, because a lot of times you're walking around with a lower measure of perceived value. Another one is to hone your talents and your skills. So you have talents, you have skills, you want to add value to yourself, hone those things, practice those things, make those things better. And again, that's another thing about always talking about growing and always trying to be better in your life and to make yourself better. Another thing is to keep learning. You know, the more you keep learning, the more you add value to yourself. If you're talking about in the workforce, the more you keep learning about the things that you do, you just add value. You know, your employment ability goes up. Your promotion ability goes up. If you're an entrepreneur, the more you learn, the more you have to offer, the easier things become. And again, you can increase your value by increasing your knowledge. Another thing that you could do to increase your self-value is to allow people in your space that reflect your inner beauty and your inner value. So for instance, people are kind of like looking glasses. And if you think about a mirror, you could see the reflection of things. And you can see the reflection of positive things, and you can also see the reflection of things you might not like. If there's an imperfection on your face, if your hair is not totally in order, if you didn't trim your facial hair right, if you didn't put your makeup on right, you know, that mirror is there as a reflection. And you are the perceiver. So you're going to see different things. So you have people outside of yourself who are also mirroring things to you about yourself. And there are positive things that they can see, and there are negative things that they can see. And what you want to do is be around people that reflect that inner beauty and that value in you. So there are some people that will reflect things that aren't even there, illusionary disfigurements and illusionary just negative characteristics. And those are the things that they mirror to you. They will take things that you have told them in the past. They might take your fears. They might take your vulnerabilities. They might take some of your failures in life or some different things, and they're always reflecting those things back to you. Those are the things that you see in yourself when you look at them, because those are the things that they amplify for whatever reasons. Those are toxic people, and those are the people that you don't want to surround yourself with. You want to be around people who, when you see them, you see the beauty in yourself, right? Because they are a mirror, and they are reflecting the things in you that make you a better person. So when you look at them, you could see the warmth about yourself. You can see the wisdom that you have, because you shine in their eyes. You are shining, and they can see that in you. They look at the light. They look at the good things about you. And it doesn't mean that they don't give suggestions or do things that can improve you, because people that really love you and care about you, they will do things and say things that they think might help you, but they're not critical and judgmental. And those people, and you can tell where it's coming from. You know, when a person tells you something to better yourself, if it's out of the reflection of them having value in you, you could feel it, that it's just to increase your value. But the people who are negative and toxic, you could tell when they tell you the things that need work, it's not to build you up and add value, it's to tear you down. You can feel that. So to add value, have yourself surrounded by people who reflect the value and beauty in you. And another way is to be an agent of positive change. So it sounds, it's the saying that we always say, you be the change that you want to see in the world. But that is actually right, because that is actually true, because that does add value. So if you sit back and you think about, how would you like people to be? What's valuable in society? What's valuable in life? What is valuable? That is a trait that people that could have, or that they could change. And those things that you want to see change in other people, that's something you can hone in on yourself. Or you could just yourself, you be the change you want to see. And that adds value. Things that are positive in the world are things that are valuable. So, you know, just keep moving and just keep going. And remember, it's you can add value to yourself, and especially if you're feeling devalued in any way, you got to change the way you think. You know, you have to sometimes be the one to lift your own spirits up. And everybody has value, you know, but you need to continually add value to yourself. And once you continue to add value to yourself and love yourself, you'll have a happier life. Other people will value you more. Other people will respect you more. They will love you more, because your light will be shining so bright. So, keep going, keep adding value, and I hope in some kind of way something resonated with you so that you can be the next to change. See you later.